Hello there. Are you feeling like something's blocking you? Well, as a leadership coach, I've learned that there are 4 different energy blocks that hold us back from realizing our dreams. I learned about these 4 blocks back in coaching school.
They were developed by the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, also known as iPEC for short, which was founded by Bruce Schneider.
Now, in addition to helping my coaching clients with these concepts, I like to personally revisit them from time to time to keep me in check, especially when I feel like something is holding me back from accomplishing, certain goals that I might have. So let's dive into the 4 energy blocks. The acronym which I like to use for them is AGILE, A-G-I-L, without the E at the end. It's a great acronym to remind me to be agile in the way I think about things in life. The first energy block is assumptions. Assumptions are based on something that happened in the past. So a very simplified example of this energy block would be that someone might, assume it's always hard to get a parking space at a shopping center. Because the last time they went to the shopping center, it was difficult to find a space. Hence, that person may avoid going to the shopping centers just because of that. Super simple example, but you can see how more serious assumptions can definitely block you from realizing your dreams. It's important that we challenge each of these energy blocks. So the question you might ask yourself to challenge an assumption is, just because that happened in the past, does it really mean it will happen again in the future? The second energy block is called a gremlin. This is actually the most difficult energy block to clear because it's your inner critic telling you that you're not good enough or smart enough or good looking enough or whatever the case may be for you. These usually stem from certain childhood experiences. This inner critic or gremlin feeds off of fear and can really shut us down, but only if we let it. So the first step for dealing with your gremlin, and by the way, we all have them, is to just become aware of it and take a look at it. Maybe even name it something funny, just to take the power away. Just like when you turn a light on in the dark room, all of a sudden, it's not so scary anymore. The second step might be to recognize your gremlin as if it was a fearful child just trying to protect you. In the past, you might have used this inner critic as a coping mechanism, and it may have actually worked for a while, but now you can acknowledge and thank that energy for wanting to protect you in the past and ask the energy to serve you in a different way, and you're not afraid of it anymore. Kind of like taking action in spite of the fear you may be feeling. So there's a lot more to working with our gremlins or inner critics, but that would take many of these videos to cover. So on to the third energy block, which is interpretations. Now this one is actually a bit easier to clear than assumptions or gremlins. An interpretation is an opinion that you create about an event, a situation, or experience in your life. For example, if you texted a friend and you get no response, you may interpret it as, your friend's mad at you, when in reality, your friend may not have received the text or is just too busy to respond at that moment. Or there may be many other valid reasons why that person hasn't responded. So if you can find other ways to interpret a situation, it will begin to decrease the negative effects of the interpretation. A great question to ask yourself would be, what's another way to look at it? Or, name 3 other possible interpretations of the situation. Or what would someone you admire say about what happened? And last but not least, the 4th energy block, which is actually the easiest to clear, but also happens quite a lot in our social media world today, are limiting beliefs. This is when you hear something external to you and your life, so you believe it and it holds you back from achieving something. You didn't actually experience it for yourself in the past, like with an assumption. Rather, it may be an old saying that was just passed down over the years that you've come to accept, like money is the root of all evil, or you may read something on social media like, if it's not one thing, it's another, or work is supposed to be hard and not fun, or it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And I'm sure you can think of many more limiting beliefs. So it's important that you first acknowledge that you might have some limiting beliefs, then begin to think of a few that may be holding you back. then most importantly, challenge them by asking yourself, how true is that belief really? Or how might I let go of this belief? Or how would my life change if I didn't believe this idea? Now, I hope this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments section. And if this benefited you, please like and subscribe within YouTube. That way, I'll know that I should continue making these kinds of videos, or maybe not. So thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you again next Thursday. With that, I wish you peace, love, and joy. And as always, keep the faith and let your light shine.